Whoa, 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 whoa. What the That was horrible. Alright, I love Tokyo Revengers. Yes, you read the title. Even after knowing how this series will eventually end and just how brutal some of y'all can be on Twitter, I mean, my god, y'all went in on that ending. I don't care. I don't mind that the ending of the manga is about as equivalent as a Mickey Mouse Clubhouse episode.
Hot diggity dog. Now we got ears, it's time for cheers. Hot dog.
I still like it. Is the anime kind of ridiculous? I mean, look at these characters and try to explain to anyone on the streets that they're supposed to be in middle school. And watch how they'll laugh at your face. Yes, the anime isn't supposed to be this work of art, nor does it need to be. I like the premise of the show, and I really appreciate how Takemichi, who is the main character, isn't really so basic compared to any other animes we have seen, where he has to overcome adversity by saving the day. Actually, you know what? Let me retract that. He does save the day in some instances, however, I think it's awesome how he isn't built up to be the strongest character physically. It's all about changing the hearts of others around him, and showing that violence isn't the answer, especially when the entire premise of the show involves gang affiliations, organized crime, and of course, death. Mind you, these are children, which still boggles my mind considering they look taller than me. I mean, when I was a child, I was having trouble building my own Beyblade arena out of paper. Yeah, you heard that right. I tried making an arena out of notebook paper and office tape. Meanwhile, you have these kids riding motorcycles, having gang wars in broad daylight, and having their own gang attires. Tokyo Revengers reminds me a lot of another great anime called Erased, except in that one, it's more about finding out who the murderer is and is more intimate with its storytelling, as opposed to Tokyo Revengers being more about preventing the death by going back into time and changing the events that could cause a butterfly effect, which has a possibility of destroying many people's lives overall. The scale is much more epic, and for the most part, I'd say the anime nails it. The music has a nice chorus leitmotif. Is that how you say it?
Leitmotif.
Leitmotif. Got it. Got it. And with the added elements of electric guitar alongside the fast-paced drums in the background adds so much to the overall soundtrack, especially the main theme, which, as you heard from the intro, makes it far more memorable of a track for me. Now, I want to remind you that this video is only about me talking about the anime and only the anime, even though I know what happens later in the show, considering I've read the end of the manga and only that. It does not, however, change my opinion on the first two seasons of the anime. Season 1 begins with Takemichi, a miserable, weak-minded, down-on-his-luck convenience store clerk who was seemingly given up on life and lives in a small apartment just going by with no real purpose or drive. He learns that his middle school ex and her brother got killed by this gang called Tomen. The season is very much all about time travel and how the effects you have on others can change someone's perspectives on life. The story really begins when Takemichi gets pushed onto train tracks and nearly dies before getting sent 12 years into the past. From there, he meets Naoto, who is the little brother of his ex, who is the key to get him sent back into the future. He changes Naoto's fate by telling him that his sister is going to die 12 years from now, and when he gets back into the future, I see what I did there? He learns that Naoto is alive and now about his time traveling abilities. Knowing this, Takemichi gets his first showcase as a character and is where his development truly begins. His main drive and purpose now is to save Hinata, which is his ex, from death. Mikey and Draken are probably two of my favorite characters in the anime. Mikey is pretty much a badass throughout this whole show, but he's also a guy who genuinely loves his friends but can easily become the main thread of the show when things take a turn for the worse. Mikey is absolutely unpredictable and always keeps me on my toes as a viewer. You never know whether or not we get to see the fun-loving, playful Mikey or the cold-hearted ass kicker that can take down armies of middle schoolers. I'm not even joking about that, by the way. Draken, Mikey's right-hand man, is one of the most loyal characters in the series. Draken really goes through lengths to make sure Mikey doesn't go down the wrong path, and despite his design and demeanor, he is the heart of Tomen and has shown time and time again that he would die to protect his friends. Not to mention, these two are like John Cena and Randy Orton back in 2009 when they had to fight against the entire locker room. No, I'm not joking. Both of these two take an entire gangs of middle schoolers and they still come out on top. To be completely honest, both Mikey and Draken carry the entire show for me, especially around the end of season 2, which if you guys haven't seen it yet, please do so. I mean, look at this. They have motorcycles. Meanwhile, I'd be lucky to ride a skateboard without getting my ass dropped as an 11-year-old. The main villain of this entire show is this goofy looking rat, Kisaki. When I tell you that no other anime character has gotten me to the point where I want to go through my TV and rankle that toothpick ass neck like a pretzel, I mean it. This motherfucker is the most annoying main antagonist I've seen in a while, and holy crap does it get worse in season 2. Now that being said, I do think it's for the best because as annoying as Kisaki is, he's the smartest character in the entire anime. He's always like 5 steps ahead, and even when Takemichi seems to have outsmarted him, Kisaki's ugly ass always seems to know what's going to happen and still ends up having the last laugh at the end. The structure is also something I want to comment on. From what I've seen so far, Tokyo Revengers seems to be following the same structure throughout. Mind you, there's nothing wrong with that as long as the story progresses towards its end goal or if the scale continues to rise. That being said, every arc usually begins with Takemichi and Naoto discussing what's wrong with the timeline they're in. Then they look to figure out any clues or facts about what happened in the past to get us to this point we're at in the story. Then once we figure out what happened, they look to see what might have happened that triggered that set event that led them into the future they're in. Once they have all that information, Naoto and Takemichi say their goodbyes and Takemichi gets sent to the past. Once that happens, it's up to him to prevent or change the past, which is where the meat and potatoes of the story really gets realized upon. Up until season 2, that's pretty much what the show structure has been about, but the great thing about that is that the writer intelligently adds moments into the story where Takemichi seems to have screwed up just a little bit, that when they get back into the future, it isn't the happy ending they wanted. The way it is done really keeps the viewer wanting more and more, alongside its great pacing makes Tokyo Revengers a bingeable watch. The action is also pretty spectacular as well. It's not the best I've ever seen, especially in the years in which they've released, but overall the buildup of whatever arc they're in really makes these fights far more meaningful. There's always that sense that someone might die, and it doesn't feel like it's predictable in the way it's done too. Now I know I'm glazing on this anime extremely hard, I get it. No, I don't think it's a top 10. Heck, I don't even think it's a top 20 best anime I've ever seen. Tokyo Revengers, as silly as it can be when you really dissect what's going on, and yes, I know I keep repeating this, but these are children hurting themselves with dangerous weapons. With all that being said, however, the pace is incredible. Honestly, not a single episode is wasted or feels like filler. Every episode keeps the story moving at a nice pace without feeling like you're tapping your feet waiting for the credits to end, and the music is absolutely top tier. The anime has a big decision to make now after the reception of the manga's ending, which has for the most part been mocked and ridiculed online for. The anime can either stick to the original's ending and stick true to what the mangaka wanted, or they can do what the original Full Metal Alchemist anime did by changing the entire ending completely. I really don't know what they should do, to be honest, considering I haven't read the manga yet, and even though I know what happens at the end, I still need to see how the ending plays out once I read the overall story. Just knowing the ending without anything else isn't enough for me. But I do think if they want to save face and have people be excited for Tokyo Revengers again, I think it's best they change the ending. That being said, that still doesn't change the fact that I think the first 2 seasons, which are the only seasons out right now as of time of me recording the script, are fantastic and are deserving of a watch. Don't go in expecting the greatest anime of the year, but if you want to watch kids beating the living crap out of each other, this is the anime for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. I know this video is like a year late considering season 2 came out a while ago now, but it's better late than never, right? Alright, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.